Welcome to the Brickworks video postcards. This one is all about the fossils that used to be found when digging the clay in this area. The brickworks are located on the banks of the River Hamble. In the river estuaries all along this part of the south coast, there is London clay in abundance. It is perfect for brickmaking. The clay was laid down 50 million years ago when the sea flooded in repeatedly, creating layers of silt and sand. It sounds a long time ago, but to a geologist this is quite recent history. In the sea lived lots of creatures. Many are familiar today. For example, the sand tiger shark was swimming here. Fossils of their teeth have been found in the clay. There were even crocodiles living in the area. When these animals died, they sank to the bottom of the sea, and many formed fossils in the muddy, silty clay at the bottom. We're going to look at a few that were found in the Brickworks clay pits. This fossil looks amazingly like the shells that you can still pick up along the shoreline on the Solent today. It was found when they were excavating the foundations for the air traffic control building. This was located in one of our old clay pits. This example is another bivalve, but this time it was found in a clay pit that was being dug in 1957. Quite a number of the fossils we have on show were found then. These two are gastropods, which are forms of snails, and they also were found in that pit. They were quite badly damaged, but they are big, so it was quite an exciting find. Here you can see two shells. They've been fossilised together. One is a tower shell or a turret shell, and the other is a little tiny oyster that's sort of landed up right beside it. These were in the excavations for the Nats building. The last example is a collection of shells that have managed to get themselves fossilised, not in clay this time, but in a pyrite nodule. They were also found in the excavations for the Nats building, and they include a bivalve, several oysters, and a few other bits and pieces. So again, probably rather an exciting find. Many of the men who dug the clay whilst working at the brickworks enjoyed collecting fossils. They probably would come across them quite often. As I said before, the sea was teeming with life, and most of this life fell to the bottom of the seabed, and a lot of that would then end up as fossils. Not always in great condition, but lots of bits and pieces. And so the men used to collect them and set up little collections of their own. And to finish this film, we have a piece of video from one of the ex-employees describing a few of the shells that he collected when he worked at the brickworks.
These are fossils taken from the London clay, which was formed about 50 million years ago when the environment was subtropical in this part of the world. They include bivalve mollusks and also marine snails. Some were very large, such as the pinna, a type of very large mussel. It's possible to still see mother of pearl on the surface of this fossil. There were also oysters and smaller cockle-like shells of a type that one can still sometimes find on the coast here now. The snails include bottom-feeding, mud-dwelling snails and also carnivorous forms such as the ficus. There's further evidence for the subtropical environment in the form of a piece of fossilised ginkgo leaf. These fossils needed to be removed from the clay before it was made into bricks because they could break the cutting wires in the brickmaking machine, but also, being partly made of calcium carbonate, they would explode when the bricks were fired, causing a high reject rate in the kiln.
And that's it for our short little film about the many fossils that were found in the old clay workings. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.